the field. From the ice to the turf, we'll break it down. Discussing every win and every loss in town. We'll talk about the Canucks and the Lions. We are your irrational fans. We are your irrational fans.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live with episode 138 of the Hughes Sports Podcast. I am your host, of course, Jake Hughes, alongside the old man. Old man, how the hell are you doing today?
We are doing amazing. Hopefully, I get really bad feedback. It's echoing.
Okay, you need to talk quieter then.
Well, this isn't going to work.
We can make it work. Okay. We're in the same room, so things are a little awkward right now. So I'm just trying to turn down your microphone so that way we can go live or try to mitigate that issue and turn down my microphone here. 1 second. But yeah, we are live here in Winnipeg for Grey Cup festivities. We've been taking in all sorts of different stuff. Thankfully, with the CFL, we have been given media access, allowing us to be able to take part in Media Day yesterday, which was a lot of fun. Went out to a practice as well, and yesterday you actually had a chance to interview the most outstanding Canadian and most outstanding player nominee in Nathan Rourke.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. It was oh no, I can't talk like this. It's it's echoing too much for me. But anyways, I had a chance to go down and do a media scrum with Rourke and a few of the other award nominees. It was kind of cool. Hopefully we have those clips and we're going to be able to make it work and you can hear it. But it's been a fun day so far.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Not just the day, but a couple of days with us. Again, chat with some players, get some access that we've never had before, which is quite fantastic. We do have a handful of different clips. Let's start with that Rourke clip because you asked him kind of in the. I just realized I'm not talking. I muted myself, but no, it's been fantastic. We've had a lot of fun. We had the technical issues galore today, but we should be good. Yeah. And technical issues galore. So instead, we're just going to go this route where the old man's just going to come over. We're going to do a podcast where we're just sitting in front of each other as the two computer setup was not working for us. Oh, Jesus. Oh.
Hey, folks. How's
where's that microphone now? No, we're good. Okay, yeah, we're good. Say something.
Hello.
Perfect.
Testing 1 2.
All right.
Okay, now go to there we go. There, that's better.
No, we can't stay up on that though. You need
know.
to pull up chat on your phone. But let's talk about or let's listen to Rourke and the kind of what the meaning of individual awards is to Rourke and kind of how
Can I tell the story how I got this?
Yes, go ahead.
Because it's kind of cool.
It is a cool story.
It is a cool story. So we went down. I went down. He needed a nap.
I also needed to cut
He
up.
needed a nap.
I also
folks.
needed to work on the podcast.
So I went down. They had a media availability for the award winners. So I went down, and as I was walking down the stairs onto the floor where everybody was, I looked to my left, and there was Rourke in the corner, and he was being interviewed by somebody. So I just immediately went over, and as I walked up, this other guy was finishing up, and Rourke waved me over, and I did a good 5 minutes, I think it is, one-on-one interview with him. He is probably the softest spoken person I've come across since we've been here. But, oh my goodness, what a great interview. You're only going to hear bits of it now. The full interview will be posted tomorrow.
I can't guarantee to tomorrow, but we'll be posted hopefully before Grey Cup. And yeah, we're going to post that out on our social media. So you can follow us at HSP_pod everywhere on TikTok Probably post it on a short on YouTube as well, and also Facebook and Twitter.
And hopefully we get it done before tomorrow. I was thinking we should try to get it done tomorrow before the awards, because he talks about if he wins, what it means.
Yes. Well, and the awards are tonight.
Oh, yes. The awards are tonight.
Our awards are happening right now.
Right now. We would be in media lockdown if we let them. They were going to lock us down. Can you imagine that, folks? You can't lock this down.
It's that one specifically.
Oh,
I'd be fine. I could sit in a quiet room and just hang out. That's fine by me. But let's listen here to Rourke's the meaning of individual awards.
I don't think that they're the primary focus. I certainly don't set goals in the beginning of the year to win individual awards. I'm all about winning games and winning Grey Cups and that kind of thing. But I think that as much as they are individual awards, they are a culmination of your team's effort, and I hope that my teammates can share in that and recognize that without them that I wouldn't have the opportunity to do these type of things. And so I hope that we can look back on that this year as a whole and remember it fondly and continue to build on it for the years in the future.
So yeah, very team-oriented response from Rourke, and I wholeheartedly believe it. I don't feel like that's a media answer.
It's funny because I was just going to say that it sounds like it's such a cliche media answer, but the look on his face, you could just see it doesn't mean anything to him. I don't know if you took the other clip from the scrum that we did with him.
No,
and he kept talking about how it still hurts. And he goes on about how it hurts, that loss to Saskatchewan, and no award's going to take away that hurt. And he brought it up like 3 or 4 times in that clip. So I'll have to, I sent that to you, I think.
You did,
the scrum.
yes.
Yeah. Just a good freaking guy. Like after I stopped recording, he shook my hand again and was asking me what we do. And I was telling him it's my son and Ma's podcast. And he's like, that's so cool. And we had like another 2 or 3 minute conversation. Well, other people were waiting to interview him. He was just such a good guy. I was literally blessed to be able to do that.
And honestly, I didn't get a lot out of the scrums just because we already have so many clips.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be able to pull out a few clips for tomorrow's show, as we're planning to go live, not just today, but also tomorrow and Saturday in preparation, as we're getting all sorts of access and information and one-on-ones and group media.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that before we go on with anything else as far as the actual event itself. What do you think so far? This is your first time coming to a Grey Cup as a member of the media.
Yeah.
Yesterday's media availability day, or media day, they called it.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts? Kind of describe what that room was like.
It was a lot of frantic energy, felt like, because the way it was set up is there was kind of one open room with 12 sets of players.
Yes.
Two sets of 12 players.
Yes.
And coaches and GMs. And it it was just kind of one of those. We got in the room about 10 minutes before the players got out there.
Yes.
And it was just kind of the calm before the storm. And I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if they were going to bring players into where we had set up originally,
yes,
or what that was. And then it was just once it kind of started and everyone kind of knew what was going on, because it felt like half the people did and half the people didn't.
Well, yeah, a lot of people, even after we talked to them at the party last night, a lot of people were saying we had no idea we thought they were going to bring him into that side room that we originally sat in.
Yeah.
But then you walked into this big ballroom, I'll call it, for lack of a better word, and along the walls going like that in a horseshoe were individual booths, and they had a table with a microphone, and they put players behind each table. There's probably 9 players each time?
No, 12.
12 players each time?
Yeah.
And it was so cool because if you didn't really want to ask any questions, you could just stand and listen. And we did a lot of recording with our phones. It was just, I thought it was really cool. I didn't get to do that in Vancouver last year. I don't think they had anything like that. So I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was a really nice setup, especially because it allowed you, like you said, kind of pick and choose. But also, if there's a long lineup for players like Trevor Harris and Davis Alexander, had a lot of media attention right away, and it was easier to get in with. You'll hear it, Tyson Philpot right away, rather than waiting, because everyone wants to talk to the quarterbacks because they're the face of the organization.
Yes, of course. Of course.
But no, I think it was a really interesting setup. The media party last night was fantastic. I think everything that's what are you doing?
Nothing. Carry on.
No, I think that needs to go completely quiet.
I'm trying. It won't go quiet.
You're in menace. Everything that the CFL has put on for the media, it has been fantastic. And honestly, it's everything's organized in a nice sense, in a nice way. And very, I don't know, it's very easy to talk to people. Everyone was very welcoming, and even though we are a smaller podcast and not a lot of people have heard of us, we're not TSN or CBC radio, or everyone was still welcoming.
Oh yeah, even when I called them the wrong names.
Even when you called them the wrong names. That's not a story we'll get into today. But we will get into that story.
But I had the story right.
Folks,
did you just see that? He flinched. I raised my hand and he actually flinched.
You had the story right, the person right.
I had the person and the story right. I just had the wrong name.
The wrong name for that person.
Yes.
And wholeheartedly introduced yourself as if you knew everything.
Very proud.
Very, very full-chested. Hi, it's Kevin so-and-so. And it's like, that's not my name. And you could just see the old man go, oh, fuck.
It was fun. It was a good party. So what we're talking about, we should tell them what we're talking about. Last night, this is the 10th annual media party that is put on. And I'm not sure how many Farhan has been involved in, but it's been a few. I know he was involved last year as well. And so we went to a bar. It was like a country bar.
Definitely a country bar.
Meat place.
Yeah, barbecue place.
Barbecue place. And it was just an open bar. And they had Quentin Blair playing, who it was really funny because I had heard the name, but it didn't register until the end of the evening. And I found out he's actually he's represented. His manager is a very good friend of mine, Angie Morris. So it was kind of a full circle there.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was all the media was there. It was a lot of people.
Lots and lots of people. Lots of talking. And apparently media people like to hear themselves talk, because there was just a lot of talking. A lot of people talking.
Hold it. Media people like to hear themselves talk.
It's the truth. I know. It's wild.
It's wild.
Before we get into more player comments, let's talk about the week that was in the CFL. Try to keep some sort of resemblance of our normal show.
Really? Okay.
The first game of the week, both games ended in a 3-point difference.
Yes.
The lines on the games were 4.5 and 3.5. So well within the range of what the Vegas odds were thinking.
Yes.
The Alouettes beat the Ticats by a score of 19-16 with a walk-off field goal for the Owls to win. I'm going to be honest, wasn't able to watch most of this game. I had it on in the background because I was doing my charity stream that I didn't know I was going to be able to do, and I haven't promoted in any way, shape, or form.
I didn't even know you did it.
We talked about me doing it.
Did we?
Yep.
I didn't pay attention.
He doesn't listen.
But this is the one game I got to watch because I was sitting at the airport, and of course we were delayed an hour and a bit. So I literally watched the entire game, and then my internet kicked out just before I went to get on the plane. and I didn't see the walk-off field goal.
Oh.
They were setting up
For
for
the-
the field goal, and that's when I stopped watching. So fun game, back and forth. Alexander is now 13-0.
13-0, I believe.
And geez, this kid, and I call him a kid, this young fella. I had the opportunity to chat with him yesterday, and very confident young man. And rightly so. I mean, if he takes this game, if he can take the L's to the promised land and finish this one off, this is going to be stuff legacies are made from.
Yeah, and we did. I mean, there's been a lot of media focus on grizzled vet versus young upstart, and like the kind of the old quarterback generation versus the new quarterback generation, and it'll be interesting to see how, if there's any pressure that gets to Davis Alexander in this game.
Well, it was funny because Bo was asked that question about the new crop of Bo Levi was at the awards availability, nominees availability. And he was asked that question about a new crop of young QBs coming to the league with the Rourke, with the up at Edmonton,
Trey
Ford. And he's, for the first time in the evening, he stumbled over that answer. Because Bo is so well spoken most of the time. And there's that new young crop of quarterbacks, and Alexander showed why he's got composure. He's got what it takes to, like I say, to set a legacy early in his career.
Yeah. But let's talk about before we get into kind of my predictions and the Davis Alexander versus Trevor Harris, let's talk about our BC Lions taking on the Saskatchewan Roughriders and lose by a score of 21-24 with a last drive. It was probably last minute and
3 seconds
that Trevor Harris drove the ball down and picked apart our defensive nightmare of rushing 3 people and then
let's talk about that.
Putting way too much focus on the short routes and the deep routes and giving them 15 yards at a time.
15, 20, 25 yards.
Yeah. I
didn't get to watch the game. We were actually, as I was saying, I was getting on the plane as the last game was ending. And we listened to it on the radio with CKNW. And when they went for that final drive, the announcers were baffled by the coverage that was, and you could hear it in their voices. You've listened to them before.
Yeah.
Folks, if you ever get a chance, turn the TV off and go to your radio, go to CKNW and actually listen to the game, because they paint such a good picture. It's amazing. And yes, they're biased because they're BC Lions fans.
Or if you have the ability to pause the game and sync up the radio call with the TV, that is also a fantastic experience.
I never tried that.
Yeah, it's a lot better than some commentators on CFL, on TSN. But yeah, baffling decision, and I don't know if it was.
Well, it was called from the bench, obviously.
See, and I can't guarantee that.
Because the bench would have like in between plays, they would have stopped it. They did it the whole entire.
They didn't have time.
Run.
There was no time for them to be able to call anything in from the.
They would have been yelling and screaming. That would have been obvious. These were called plays from the bench. It was just horrible.
It's a prevent defense. So obviously you don't want to give up the long bomb, going down to the going down like a one-shot play, which honestly would have been better than what the Lions did, where they allowed the middle deep ball, not the middle deep ball, the 10 to 15 yard throws.
Yes.
And which turns into 20, 25 yard plays when the receivers are catching them and no one's around them, so they can run for 10 yards. They had such a focus on not giving up anything super short, which I didn't understand. And I don't know if it's a zone protection, like a zone scheme that they were trying to run, or if it was that was broken and not fixable because there was no timeouts left or anything like that, or if Trevor Harris and the Riders just had a really good game plan to confuse us with, because there was a couple times they showed in a replay where they'd have their two receivers run parallel routes and then break off in opposite directions, and the DB would have to pick which one to go with. Trevor Harris would then just pick the one that obviously the DB didn't go with to pick apart.
But when you're only rushing 3, you should have like double coverage on everybody.
But they don't run man coverage. They don't run man. It's a zone coverage system.
Yeah, but when you're in the prevent defense, it was so frustrating. It was.
Yeah,
I was pretty much freaking out on the plane. I thought they might open the door and toss me out.
Well, hello, Rod. How's it going?
Hey, Mr. Peterson. Hope life is good down in Florida.
Yeah, no, it's a wild situation that.
And then the final catch. Yes, we're going to talk about it.
Called a catch on the field.
Called a catch on the field.
Went to review.
Okay, go ahead.
I had been streaming for about 18 hours at that point, and I was watching the game while streaming. So I was basically calling the game with the scoreboard on my screen, and I instantly said, "No way, that's a catch." They called it a catch. Through the replays, I did not see a chance for them to overturn that and say it wasn't a catch.
Obviously, I was just going by radio, and it took a long time. If you didn't watch the game, folks, that was one of the longest reviews that I've been a part of for a long time. Yeah, it was at least 3.5, 4 minutes, if not longer. And came back, call on the field stood. Riders win. We had 11 seconds, I think, left in the game, and we tried some stupid stuff. I won't even go there because I don't understand that kick when nobody's downfield.
That was a lineman thinking that's what was supposed to happen.
I would like to talk to that lineman. Bring him in. Bring him in right now. We'll have that discussion.
Look, I think linemen are fantastic at what they do. Don't give them the ball.
I have a word I wanted to use.
No.
But I will use. He wasn't thinking very correctly.
He wasn't thinking. But it was also a dumb play call.
It was. I don't know what the play call. It looked like it was a set play.
Oh, it was
him to kick that though.
No, it was a schoolyard bullshit.
Yeah. So
anyway, literally, if you've watched the new version of The Longest Yard,
yes,
where they call schoolyard bullshit, that's what it was. Like,
and
just dumb.
After the game, shortly, not that long after the game, the Lions owner, Mr. Adoman, went on to his Instagram and posted a picture and he said, and I'm not going to quote, but I'm pretty close to what he was saying. Clearly not a catch.
That picture is so blurry. You can't say clearly on anything.
Well, and so many people have chimed in on it. It became a story on its own. The fact that this owner posted it. Now, then it was deleted shortly after it was posted. But of course, everybody got screenshots, and everybody had an opinion on that picture. Some said it was that Doman actually used AI and changed the picture, and I'm like, oh, come on now. That's just the most ridiculous thing I ever heard.
No, it's a blurry
picture. People said it was his elbow, not the brown ball. And I'm like, so this guy has one white arm and one brown arm.
You could argue that it could have been shadows.
I've never seen a shadow cast brown instead of black. Have you ever seen a brown shadow?
Have you through cameras? Through a picture of a television screen?
Folks, you're listening. I know you're out there. I don't have my screen, so I can't see you or hear you chat. But chat in. Was it an arm or was it a football?
I think, in all reality, it's a still shot of a moving ball.
Yes.
And you can't tell what it is because it's too blurry.
It's too blurry.
And if that's the only evidence that you have that it should be overturned, you can't overturn it.
I agree.
Because it has, like, the instant replay debacle from earlier this year where they were reviewing so many different stupid things where it had to come to like the governors and everyone being like, okay, we need to come up with rules on what we're reviewing and how long it can take.
Yes.
That clearly wasn't a clear. You need clear evidence to overturn a call.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? If it was called no catch on the field, it still wouldn't have been overturned because there's no evidence either way.
Exactly.
The Lions didn't lose because of that call. The Lions, in my opinion, the Lions lost on that drive. There's no way with 1 minute and 3 seconds that you allow them to drive that far. If you go into prevent defense and it's not working, then you got to change it up. You can't just continuously do the wrong thing over and over and over and expect it to become the right thing. It was asinine, and that's why they lost the game.
I think the reason they lost the game was 2 drives in a row. I mean, they went
2 and out.
They had, I think, a total of 12 2-and-outs in the game.
Yeah,
that's why they lost the game.
Well, and Riders defense, let's face it, they are the best in the league. Yeah. I believe they're number 1 in most categories defensively in the league.
Yeah, and
except for sacks, and that's because Betts went on fire.
Yeah, and we talked about that. You talked about that with Matthew Betts. But yeah, no, it's one of those things where there was so many things that went wrong that I don't think you can blame one. You can't blame one drive on that issue.
No,
like 12. I think I want to say 12, and I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but I want to say 12 2-and-outs. That's not acceptable in a championship, like a finals game, a playoff game.
No.
Anything else you want to talk about from the Lions' performance other than
no?
Other than the fact
I'm still bitter, folks. And don't get me wrong. I think it's great that Saskatchewan won. I said it to Jake while I was still on the plane. After I literally turned my phone off because I was getting ridiculous text messages from people I don't talk to in all year, but they feel it's okay to text me at the end of a football game. They have no anyway. I calmed down, which didn't take that long. It was quite. As I get older, that I don't take it as seriously anymore. And I texted you shortly thereafter and said, you know what? It's probably better that the Riders won because it's going to bring more people into Winnipeg. It's going to make the Grey Cup Festival and the game that much more fun because there's so much happening in Winnipeg right now.
Well, and on top of that, I mean, obviously the Grey Cup has sold out.
Yes,
but I think it would have sold out no matter who was playing.
Oh yeah, of course.
But it
sold out before the game.
Yeah, before the teams were announced.
Yes.
The fact that adding in the Saskatchewan rivalry to the Winnipeg arena is just that much better.
Yeah, of course,
for everyone, right? It was a tough loss, but I don't think it's. And kudos to the Riders for being in it. Their defense, I think, their defense won them that game, despite the fact that if you look at the game and if you turned off that game and started listening to us, you're like, well, no, Trevor Harris won that game. To a degree, yes. Their defense shut down Rourke.
Yes. And
12 2-and-outs you're going to win a game.
Yep. And I mean, I said it on the Rod Peterson show. I think it was Thursday or Friday of that week that I went through every stat of the year trying to find a stat that would back my belief that Lions were going to win. I couldn't find one, folks, not one. So I literally said to Rod on a show, I think there has to be an act of God for the Lions to win.
And it would have taken
And it was basically an act of God that won that game. So I wasn't incorrect.
I don't think so. No, I don't think that's how that works. I had to think about it for a few minutes, but I don't think that's how that works.
I think it worked. You got a microphone in front of your face. You know that?
You know what? People aren't here to see my face. They're here to listen to my voice.
I'm not touching that. That's way too easy.
I
want to just shout out to Ted. Yes, I was gutted as well, Ted. I I hate losing that way. I hate losing in the last seconds of games. I'd rather have a blowout and my team lose than lose in the last second. I love winning in the last second, but the losing like that, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah. And I don't think there's like this team had a lot of they had a tumultuous season. Like the start wasn't strong.
Yeah.
They came on during the last half of the season, and you kind of posed that question to Nathan Rourke, and that kind of tees up the next clip I have here, or radio or interview clip. What is the word I'm looking for? Audio from Nathan Rourke on kind of what turned the season around. So let's take a listen to that here.
Yeah, I think we just continued, trusting our process, and I think we knew we were a good team, and we just hadn't put it together, and found out more ways to finish games. And offensively, I think we were playing better complementary football and putting our defense in better spots. And I think when we did that, we were winning games more often than not. And ultimately, it's hard. In this league, it's an offensive league, and so we put our defense in tough positions. It's hard to win.
That was Nathan Rourke talking on kind of what turned the season around, and kind of a lot of that was the belief in the systems. And again, we talked about it multiple times this year. It was a new system for all the players with a new head coach, a quarterback returning from to basically 2 years off.
Yes.
You're a fucking child.
I'm agreeing with you. I just agreed with you. What's your problem?
I can see what you're doing.
Oh my goodness. I still say that whole thing turned around when we brought the two defensive ends in. I need to look up their names because I always just refer to them as the American defensive ends. And when TJ Lee returned, those two moments in the season, that's when everything flipped. And man, it was such a good run. We went 6-0 to finish the season, 7-0 to finish the season. 7-0 to finish the season. And not too many teams can do that.
No.
So yeah, it sucks that we're not here. It would have been really cool if BC was here and we had access like we did yesterday.
Yeah.
Folks, you probably wouldn't have been able to talk to us if the Lions were in, because our heads would have been so big right now. It's but next year the Grey Cup's going to be in Calgary, so hopefully when I talked to Rourke, I don't know if you have that clip. He talked about how encouraged he is about next year because the core of the team stays together.
I do have that clip, and that was with Matthew Betts.
That was Matthew Betts.
Yes.
That was Matthew Betts. Why don't we play that?
Yes.
Because it's on what changed and the fact. Yeah, play the clip.
I think just better understanding of the system, what we were trying to accomplish, and I would say it was like that for the defense, maybe in general, and the record. We started off, I think we were 2-5 at some point,
Yes.
and to be able to go on a win streak there at the end. So I'm just really encouraged for the future, and I mean it's a lot of the core players are coming back, and I've been there for a couple of years, but it was still a new staff with Buck. And now with Benny back on the defensive coordinator side of things. But no, I think for me it was just to grow in the system and try to understand my role a little bit better. And cut it loose at some point, and I feel that's when you have success.
Yes.
Yeah, and you talked about it with him or the way he talked about it is very similar to what Rourke said, where it's buying into the system and understanding the system.
Yes.
And you can look at a system on paper or chat about it, but until you're on the field, it's like, oh, right, okay, I need to go here. I need to think about this. And I think early on, especially with the defense, there was a lot of thinking and not a lot of doing. Like they were overthinking a lot of the time.
And we talked about it quite often during the season, in the early season when things weren't going right or correctly. And there was a lot of finger pointing and yelling and screaming in that backfield of the defense. That ended.
Yeah.
That ended, and you didn't see it anymore. And I remember you texted me going, do you notice that defense is not questioning each other? And that's when that turnaround happened. And I think that's that TJ Lee vet experience
Just
where
influence, I think. Just
Yeah.
that locker room guy being like, guys, shut up, listen, this is what we're going to do, and this is why it's going to work.
yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You also talked to Matthew Betts as he was in the availability, as he is up for Defensive Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Along with the team, and he mentioned there with a 2-5 record at one point. It's hard to think that you could have an MOP candidate and a Defensive Player of the Year candidate on a team that started 2-5.
And don't forget, the MOP is also the most outstanding Canadian candidate as well.
Yes.
From the West. So he turned his season around. We talked about it. You tweeted it out. Why is nobody talking the fact that Betts only has 1 sack in its game 5?
And then he turned that game. I sent out that tweet and Betts has a sack. It was like, okay, perfect. There we go.
It was during the game you tweeted it.
Yeah. And
Yes.
then all of a sudden that was a 4-sack game. And kind of let's hear from Betts on what he believes his turning point of that the season was.
From that point on, I think you would be right to say I went. Benny made a big deal about it, but I think it was 9 sacks in 3 games.
Yes.
That one. So yeah, and I've had a coach before telling me that, where he was saying pass rushers are kind of like home run hitters in baseball. When you start to go hot, or snipers in hockey, that it just kind of come and goes. So for me, it's people love to talk about stats and sacks, but for me, it's just you work hard, you do your job the best that you can. That's usually when good things will come to you. And I'm just trying to be the guy across from me, be in the quarterback's face, and trying to help everybody life.
Yeah.
You could almost read between the lines there, where he's like, sacks are great. I mean, that's his job. His job is to literally hit the quarterback. But he would rather his teammates get those than him. You could tell he's just that type of guy.
Well, and again, the and you mentioned it to me yesterday before I even listened to the clip, the fact that he views it as as if a streaky shooter or a home run hitter, they're going to be streaky sometimes, and that's fine. Does Jose Bautista hit a home run every game? No, he would go on sprints where he did 2 in a game or 5 in a 7-game stretch.
Yep.
But then he'd go drive for 10, 15 games.
Exactly. You look at the best home run hitters, they strike out them more than anybody else.
Barry Bonds has the home run record, and you know what else he has? Strikeout record.
Exactly. So now, having chatted with Mr. Betts, brand new dad, 7-month-old baby who was in the hotel. His wife was there with him.
That's awesome.
And the baby was in the hotel room. So I said, are you going to stay? And he goes, no. He says, we're here for tonight and tomorrow because
the awards are today.
Awards are today. And he said, then we're going home. He says, 5 days, 6 days in a hotel room with a 7-month-old. That's not happening. And I'm like, I don't blame you.
That's fair.
So his hometown is Montreal, or somewhere just close to Montreal. Anyway, and he's a teacher. And it was funny. I'm sure you don't have that clip.
No.
I asked him what, and I was laughing as I said it. I said, I have to ask, what course do you teach? And he goes, yeah, phys ed. But yeah, no,
what
good guy.
What else would a football player teach?
Exactly. Really good. 2 great representatives from BC up for awards. So it's now 7:41 here. We should be hearing pretty darn soon. I'm just checking Twitter to see if we any of the awards have taken place yet.
Well, and speaking of BC boys, let's talk more so on the Riders and Owls.
Yes.
Because Corey Mace, which I found out yesterday, is from BC. Did not realize that.
Yes, from Port Moody.
Yeah. And we were able to have a really great conversation with him. A couple clips here, kind of on the, and we talked about it, the grizzled vet in Trevor Harris versus the young upstart in Davis Alexander.
Look, Trev's had the experience, obviously playing a lot of football. He's played in Grey Cups, and I think there is something to that. With Davis, I don't know what you can say. Kid has never lost a game, so to say we got to do something different than anybody else has to get that done, to accomplish it. you know, it's something I know our team's got to be ready for. But experience or a hot hand, I don't know. What I will say is Trevor's been running a lot lately. You know, he's still got it. But he had a hell of a game last week. You know, which I know means nothing for this week, but you know that he's capable of it, and I think I don't think a moment's going to get too big for Trevor, and I don't know Davis enough to speak on him from that standpoint, but I do know he's a hell of a competitor, and he's a hell of a quarterback.
Awesome.
Yeah, Corey Mace on kind of Trevor Harris. They're the quarterback matchup between Trevor Harris and Davis Alexander.
And the reason he brought up running is the fact that Alexander is suffering a hamstring injury that he's battling through. And so I can't see Alexander running a whole lot in tomorrow or in Sunday's game.
Well, the Montreal Alouettes have flown in a hamstring expert, has had them with them at practice out here in Winnipeg.
And he's getting 5 treatments, if not 6,
A
every
day.
single day.
And in between, when running on the field, he's on the bike, kind of keeping everything loose. They're expecting him to be doing that during the game as well. So, I mean, I feel like you would have to have his leg amputated to take him out of this game.
Yes.
But it'll be interesting to see if it does limit him at all. He was running around at practice yesterday. Today, the Alouettes practice was closed to media. So we'll see what's going to go on with him as the game gets closer. But talking about a player who's injured and battling through some stuff.
Before you go there,
Yep.
I know where you're going to go, and we got to talk to a lot of Montreal players. What was the one common thread in all their, and it wasn't just talking points. What was their one common thread?
Their common, or their camaraderie is the word I was looking for. They're very, almost every single player talked about how close this group is, how tight knit this group is.
Yes.
And yeah, something that you could, I think you can tell just by the way they talk about each other. And I mean, the way Austin Mack, Tyson Philpot, just to name a couple, talked about their teammates.
Yes.
Like they were gassing each other up, and they don't need to do that. Like they're in
they're in the show.
They're in the show. They don't need to be gassing each other up, and they still go out of their way to do that.
Yeah,
So,
it was play the clip from who was it? Austin Mack on how they knew they'd be there. There it is. So we talked to Austin Mack, and we talked about a lot of people didn't expect the Montreal Alouettes to finish the season as strong as they did. At one point, there was only a 0.9% chance of them making the Grey Cup. Listen to his response.
First of all, we knew we were going to be here at the beginning of the year. But if you guys find out, I mean, I think people forget, I think half of us were all hurt for like a good 6 weeks. I mean, what do you guys expect? Right? There's not much you can help, unfortunately, right? So as soon as we got healthy, right, end of the season, I think six in a row. I mean, and then, we didn't have Davis for the last game of the season. So, and now you see in the playoff run, we knew that. We always knew it. It was just a matter of being able to stay healthy.
Go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, Austin Mack was very adamant, and that clip I could have probably made another minute longer, where he kind of just reiterated the fact that they had the belief in the room that they were the best team in the CFL, not just the East, but the best team in the CFL, and that the receiving core that's there, they're all super, super competitive and wanting to push each other to be better. I believe it was Austin Mack that said he had a bet with one of the other receivers. I think it was Sneed that for Yaks.
Yes.
Right.
And he said he owed Sneed a flight. Because he beat him in yak yards. And then he looked at me and said, "But I was out for a game, so."
It's not yak yards. It's Yaks. He said it correctly, and I appreciated it. You just said yak yards. Yards after catch yards? Why are we saying yards twice?
That's what people say.
ATM machine. They're wrong.
It's okay.
It drives me nuts.
It's
Just
okay.
You don't need to repeat the word. It's already in the word. It's abbreviated.
Yes. So you can feel when you talk to any of those Montreal Alouette players, you could feel the closeness, the close-knit group that they really are.
Yeah. And that went for almost all, I was going to say all of the Owls that we spoke with. It was one of the, and I don't think it was a talking point. It was just them being that. It's not like they were reading from a script with bullet points. It's just honestly how they feel about each other.
Yes.
And I mean, we don't normally follow baseball, but we talked about the Blue Jays quite a bit in their World Series run. And we know that the Blue Jays were a tight-knit group. And that's the reason they believe that a lot of people started believing in that team, because they had each other's back so much. And I think the Owls are kind of taking on that persona in the CFL right now.
Yes, for sure. 100%. It was cool to hear the and I'm not taking anything away from the Riders, but it was just so much more prevalent when we talked to the Alouettes.
Yeah, it really was. We're kind of running longer on time than I thought. Yeah. I have so many clips here that we haven't even used, but one I want to get to because I think it would lead to, and we've talked about it, a really cool guests on our show is we're able to talk with Tyson Philpot, who, if that name is familiar and you're not a CFL fan at large, Corey Philpot played for the BC Lions in the mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
Early 2000s?
Early 2000s.
I think because he won the Grey Cup in 94, but he wasn't there in 2001 to win the Grey Cup. So
right, yeah.
In that time frame, Tyson Philpot is with the Owls, won the Cup with the team in 2023.
And his twin brother. I can't think of his name right now. His first name, plays for Calgary. Yeah.
And this is just kind of that.
Jalen.
Thank you. Jalen Philpot. This is just kind of him on kind of the, not even just sibling rivalry, but familial rivalry with these guys.
You know, it's still a surreal moment, thinking about the first Grey Cup in 2023 and, obviously what all entailed with that and the heroics and all that kind of stuff. But just, embracing this moment, I can't wait to have my dad and my family in town going for that second ring. We talked about it at the first time with my dad. He won his Grey Cup in '94, his second year in the CFL. Didn't get an opportunity to go back and get opportunity for a second ring. So if I can beat Dad, that's something. When I came into the CFL, I thought about what are the goals that I could beat Dad in and that kind of stuff. And 2 rings would be awesome. 2 rings before Jalen would be awesome.
So yeah, that was Tyson Philpot on hopefully beating Dad to 2 Grey Cups and beating Jalen to a Grey Cup, 2 Grey Cups as well. So
yeah.
Just honestly a phenomenal person to talk with was Tyson, just down to earth.
And the reason Jake was saying potential guest on our show, we're going to approach the Philpots, plural, and get both the twins and Dad on our show. You can kind of see where we're going with that. Son, father, yeah. So we're gonna try that. I think it would be very, very cool. Yeah. Obviously, it'll have to be in the off season, and I'll reach out to him and
see what we can figure out.
Yes,
but that is an eventual guest that we'll have on this show. We have so many of these clips that we didn't get to. So we mentioned we're going to go live again tomorrow night, probably for a bit of a shorter show.
Yeah,
and
just going to give you an update on what we're doing here in Winnipeg.
What's going on, kind of the practices. We've got the state of the league from Commissioner Johnston tomorrow, as well as the CFLPA state of the league. So we'll kind of cover those. We'll also have hopefully have some more interviews with players tomorrow as well.
I'd like to see if we can't get some interviews from people, even in the media, if we can, on their reaction to the State of the League address. I think it's going to be one of the most important State of the League addresses for this new commissioner, Johnson. Commissioner Johnson brought in changes that kind of rocked the CFL, I'll say. So it'll be interesting to hear his State of the League address tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is the first time in many years that they're not opening that to the public. It's just strictly press that's there. So Jake is going to be live streaming that.
Live tweeting. Sorry, I said streaming. Live tweeting that. So if you want to follow it, you're going to do it on Hughes Sports. Yes.
Yeah, it will be on Hughes Sports. Not Hughes, just Hughes Sports.
HSP_pod on Twitter. And then also on post kind of our big ideas on Facebook as well, kind of as a recap of the league, of the statements anyways.
Yes, for sure.
Normally this is where we'd go to everyone's favorite segment, but I think we're going to hold off on that.
Yes.
Because I was thinking about it and I didn't bring this up with you because we were having a lot of technical issues before we went live here. But we can hold out and do Old Man Predicts the Saturday before the Grey Cup.
But what about hockey?
Hockey, we can do Old Man Predicts for hockey because we do have a handful of games. We just have one tomorrow, and then we can do the Sunday, Monday, Sunday, Monday. We can do that tomorrow. Yes, we can do that. So the Canucks are taking on the Hurricanes in Carolina. We didn't get into any Canucks news, but Demko's out. Hughes is out day to day or week to week, or who knows how long he's going to be out for. Injuries galore in Vancouver on the Vancouver Canucks.
It's insane. It's literally insane. We can never have anything nice. It's just, you tweeted that the other day, and I just agree with it so much. Every time we think we're turning a corner and things are starting to look good, they take it away from us.
Something happens, and
it's
we
sad.
hate it.
I'm going to say the Canucks are going to lose against the Hurricanes.
I would put money on that.
69% probability the Hurricanes win.
And you know what? I would need like 3.5 points to be able to bet on Vancouver in that game.
Yeah.
I think the Canes are a fantastic team this year again. And
let's hope I'm wrong again, because I haven't been right once all year.
You haven't been right at all this year. So let's see. Vancouver Canucks to lose tomorrow night, and we will be live here tomorrow around the same time, probably at this exact same time, 7 o'clock Central, 5 p.m. Pacific time. And until then, have yourselves a wonderful day. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, do everything you like. Follow us on all the social media platforms at HSP_pod. You can follow me at JStreams, and you can follow the old HSP. Have yourselves a wonderful night. Mwah. See you tomorrow. Mwah.